Hello, you information and entertainment-seeking podcast listener. It's so good to have you with me again. I'm going through some changes here on the Wine Road. After 9 years, I've chosen to bring my radio show to an end. It was a hell of a lot of fun, but I wanted to focus on reaching beyond Northern California more often. Of course, I'll continue to interview the interesting people in the United States' greatest wine region here in Napa and Sonoma County, because, well, as I've pointed out in the past, if California were a country, it would be the fourth largest wine producer in the world. But there are so many other people creating intriguing brands and crafting compelling wine from so many different grape varieties, and have done so for generations longer, if not centuries. So it's been my desire to share their stories with you as well. I've done some in the past, but you can expect more in the future. Coming up in the next few months, you'll hear 3 interviews from Portugal, 2 from France, and today, Italy. And for my first episode of 2023, you'll hear new music, more of my Wine Uncorked series, and a local sponsor. I mean, I gotta have someone pay for my travel expenses. My first guest comes from an Italian family whose name has been synonymous with excellent, affordable wines for decades. Let's hit the road.
We are one of the very few, if not the only, winery that has consistently made traditional method Prosecco Superiore. The first vintage was 2004.
He's Matteo Bolla. Yes, the same Bolla family that produced Bolla Valpolicella. I'm pretty sure it was one of the first Italian wines I tasted as a youngster. However, like many longtime winemaking families, they're split into different factions, and Matteo's side has focused on Prosecco. Yes, I know a lot of you love bubbles. Before I get into the interview, I'd like to thank my local sponsor, Sonoma Clean Power. For those of you who live in the area, learn how your actions can make a greater impact with clean, renewable energy at poweringeverydaymoments.org. That's poweringeverydaymoments.org. Now on to Matteo Bolla. Realizing the growing popularity in sparkling wine, a number of years ago, his side of the family decided to be the leader in making Prosecco in the champagne style, Méthode Champenoise. In Italian, it's Metodo Classico. Most Prosecco is made in the Charmat method, which creates carbonation in steel tanks. Matteo's champagne-style Prosecco is called Valdo, which is short for the region where it's grown and made, Valdo Biadene. Matteo is the family's ambassador for Valdo and lives in Miami. A few months ago, he was in San Francisco for a spectacular food and Valdo pairing at Sense Restaurant, one of my favorite dining spots in the city. And thanks to Colangelo and Partners Public Relations, I was able to attend. He was promoting their new release, the 2019 Valdo Numero 10 Superiore Metodo Classico, or Valdo 10. However, during the tasting, he also poured a 2016, 2014, and 2011 Valdo Numero 10. I'll upload the Valdo and food pairing list on my website so you can see what a fantastic culinary experience it was. Check it out at onthewineroad.us. You'll also see Matteo. He's tall, good-looking, and being a family member, you'll understand why I started the conversation by saying he's the perfect man to be the face of the brand.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I'm honored to be able to continue the history of my family, building the legacy. We have a long history that started with Bolla, and we want to continue building the connection with the American wine consumers, with Valdo, that is now the Prosecco winery of my family. It was founded in 1926 and purchased by my grandfather in 1938. So we have been making Prosecco Superiore from Valdo Biadene for almost 100 years, and that's what we are focusing on right now.
Prosecco Superiore DOCG is the highest level of classification in the region, and you're one of the few who are exporting to the U.S. right now.
Yes, so we specialize in Prosecco Superiore from Valdo Biadene, and our main markets are certainly Italy and Germany, where we are the best-selling Prosecco Superiore, as well as UK, very important export market for retail, and the US now is definitely one of the major focus of my family. As a matter of fact, I now live here in the US since 5 years to help the development of the brand, increase the distribution, the sales, and the branding. So we are in a very crowded, competitive category, but we believe in quality, in sustainability, and family. These are our three main pillars. So we hope that we will be able to premiumize the category and emerge as one of the leading historic brands of Prosecco Superiore.
And Numero 10 is made in the Matato Champenois style, like champagne, which is different than the traditional Prosecco tank method.
Exactly. So 99% of all Prosecco is produced Martinotti Charmat method. Therefore, the sparkling process happens in a steel tank under pressure. We are one of the very few, if not the only, winery that has consistently made traditional method Prosecco Superiore. The first vintage was 2004. We produced 10,000 bottles every vintage, and we call it Numero 10 because of different reasons. The yield of the vineyards is 10 ton per hectare. The residual sugar is 10 gram per liter. 10 is also the minimum aging in the bottle, so the wine undergoes traditional method, so the sparkling process in the bottle is at least 10 months up to 12 months for this wine. And 10 because in Italy when you say a product is a 10 means is the best that you can make, so it's really the pinnacle of our production. We are not here to say that Prosecco Superiore needs to be made this way, but this is a unique and innovative project that my family started in 2004 with my uncle being the leader, my uncle Pierluigi Bolla, which is today's president and CEO of Valdo. This wine is 100% Glera, so Glera is known for producing very refreshing, light, easy to drink, fruity and floral wines that made Prosecco so popular in the world, and we have been able to prove that Glera can withstand a metodo classico of 10 to 12 month re-fermentation in the bottle, but we have also made a 24 months metodo classico. So again, unique and very special wine that differentiates Valdo from the other competitors.
And it's so fresh because in the Valdo Biadini is just below the Alps, and so your Glera is grown on the terraced hillsides, and so it is very cool and refreshing in that region.
Exactly, it's the perfect microclimate for producing sparkling wines that are very elegant and refined. So we are in the northeast of Italy. Valdo Biadene is the heart of Prosecco, the historic area, with steep and spectacular hills that today have earned the UNESCO World Heritage Site for the ability of the grape growers to shape the land, these incredibly steep slopes, and create this heroic, they call it heroic viticulture because of the steepness, and every grape is hand harvested. So definitely it is one of the most significant terroir for making sparkling wines in Italy.
You have to have courage to work in these heroic vineyards.
For sure, you cannot run any harvesting machinery. The harvest is manual, with really. Let's say if you like skiing, it's a black diamond steepness.
Right.
So for sure, when you go there is a road called La Strada del Prosecco that guides you through this spectacular landscape, and you will be blown away to see the top of the hill with vineyards on, and these grape growers that with a lot of courage go all the way up to harvest. So.
And your family is really committed to the Valdo because I saw the production facility online and it is so modern.
Yes, we have two facilities, two cellars. The old cellar that has been founded in 1926. It is in the town of Valdobbiadene. Okay, it's a stone throw from the main square.
Still in use today?
Still in use. We have our bottling line, our tasting room, and offices. This cellar has been bombed during World War II, but the resilience, the belief in the future of Prosecco, that at that time was mostly a regional wine, so the resilience of the Bolla family made sure that the reconstruction of this cellar was possible. But then, with the growth of the winery, a new cellar, more modern, was needed. So we now have just a mile away. It's our vinification center that is now running on solar panels. We have installed state-of-the-art solar panels to have up to 75% of the energy needed from the sun. So for us, sustainability is definitely one of our biggest pillar, and that's where we do the vinification process and the cuvée, the different blending of the wine. Before then, they are moved to the old cellar where we have the bottling line and all the autoclave, so the tank where the sparkling process happens under pressure.
He's Matteo Bolla of the family's Valdo brand, and we're discussing the Prosecco Valdo Numero 10, or you could say Valdo Dieci. And can you believe the family collaborates with 70 different grape growers?
Exactly. We have both estate-owned vineyards, where we have all the Glera and the local indigenous varieties like Verdisa, Bianchetta, Pereira, that are used for our Metodo Classico, like Numero 10 or Tenuta Pradase, which is 24 months. And also, historically, we, since 3 generations and counting, we are working with grape growers that offer their fruit in exclusivity to us, so we have the complete control of the supply. We go there on a daily basis on the vineyards. We are the one that tell the grape growers when to start to harvest, and then from there, the grapes come to our modern facility, and then we start the vinification process. So it is for us a pride, a great long-lasting relationship with these grape growers.
Thank you so much for sharing your 2011, 2014, the 16, and the 19. I enjoyed them all. I'm on the fence about which one was my favorite, either the 14 or the 16.
Of course, wine is subjective. Everyone has his own judgment, and so I would say that it is already something very unique that we were able to carry this tasting with these unique vintages of Prosecco Superiore and Metodo Classico. So I am, for me, already very, very happy that we made it possible. At the table, I received different comments. Some participants loved the 2016. They found this vintage the most balanced between the fruity and floral aromatic of Prosecco and the yeasty notes, the toasted bread notes that are coming from the bottle fermentation. The 2014 vintage was a very particular vintage because of the weather. There was a lot of rain, so a lot of cool temperatures, so the levels of acidity was the highest of the decades, 2010, 2020. So you can find this both in at the eye, because you see that the color, the hue is golden with the hints of green, and on the palate also you perceive this high acidity, but it has a little bit more body than the 2016. So it really is subjective, but overall I think that we are looking at a wine that surprises us in terms of evolution of organoleptic, and definitely is an interesting Metodo Classico that can be compared with other metodo classico in Italy, like a Franciacorta or a Trento DOC, which are made mostly with the Chardonnay, the Pinot Noir. There are grapes that guarantee more structure, more longevity for this type of process. But Valdo was able to show that Glera is able to withstand a traditional method and yield a very, very unique and interesting wine.
And it emphasizes the fact that sparkling wines do make an ideal pairing with food.
Absolutely. In Italy, we drink wine with food, and especially Prosecco Superiore at almost every hour of the day, in the sense that you can start with a nice brunch, lunch, and then having your happy hour aperitivo moment, and open up a bottle of Prosecco and carry it throughout the meal. As we saw today, we paired 4 different Prosecco with 4 different meals, and this is part of our lifestyle, of our culture, to have sparkling wine across the whole meal.
Yeah, and you could even end the day with your digestif sparkling.
Of course, the Prosecco Superiore is also very refreshing. It goes well with fresh peaches at the end of the meal, and because of the sparkling, you also have a nice cleansing effect after the meal.
You're the 5th generation. You live in Miami as you promote this brand in the U.S. And I have to say, I came across a picture of you in front of a couple of mixers. So do you do a little DJing on the side just for fun? I mean, you are in Miami.
Yes, this is my biggest passion. I have been DJing since I was 15-year-old. I do it professionally, so I do it in clubs, but also in private parties and events. So for sure, my style of music is house and disco, but I also play deeper house and electronic music. But certainly, that's the way I connect with the audience. And for me, music is like wine. Music and wine are like the fil rouge of humanity. They exist since thousands and thousands of years, and they have been growing with civilization. So for me, it's really a great way to connect with the humans.
Matteo, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for the interview, and I hope now Valdo is a brand that you will follow. We have a lot to build, and hopefully the legacy of the family will once again flourish here in the U.S. So thanks for your time.
I like how he said it's a great way to connect with the humans. Yes, we humans love sparkling wine. Well, most do anyway. Matteo was a real pleasure to meet. And to see the Valdo brands, visit us.valdo.com. You can sign up to become a member and order wine. Or another option is vivino.com. That's VIVINO.com. I'm confident you'll be pleasantly surprised with the price. Make sure you choose the Valdo Superiore Metodo Classico. Stick around. I'll be right back with Wine Uncorked.
It can feel overwhelming to understand how to transition to a healthier, clean energy future, but help is available because the Advanced Energy Center from Sonoma Clean Power is now open. Sign up for an upcoming event. Experience energy-efficient technologies, learn about incentives, 0% financing, and the many benefits of being an SCP customer. Find the future of efficiency at 741 4th Street in Santa Rosa and at scpadvancedenergycenter.org. Sonoma Clean Power. Innovation grown locally.
And now it's time to delve into the history, the unknown, the meaningful trivia that surrounds the beverage we so adore. It's time for Wine Uncorked. Have you heard about the gods of wine? In Greek mythology, Dionysus was the god of the grape harvest, winemaking, of ritual madness and fertility. Interestingly, festivals celebrating him were the driving force behind the development of Greek theater. Dionysus may have been worshipped as early as 1500 BC. For the Romans, the god of wine was known as Bacchus. He was also the Roman god of good cheer, mirth, and ecstasy. It is written that Roman festivals thrown in the name of Bacchus, Bacchanalia, got a bit out of hand, becoming scandalous, extremely colorful, ecstatic events, to the point where the Roman Senate prohibited the festivals, viewing them as a religious cult. It is believed that thousands of revelers were jailed and even put to death. You can find all kinds of paintings and sculptures based on both gods of wine in libraries, museums, and Google Images. Be warned, they can be graphic, enticingly so. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please subscribe to have On the Wine Road podcast automatically appear on your favorite platform. If you like the podcast, I'd appreciate 5 stars or a positive review. On the Wine Road podcast is produced and written by me. Find images, wine trivia, and news on my website, onthewineroad.us. I'm on Facebook as On the Wine Road and Instagram as JD Wine Road. I'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks.